the whole idea of that you have this high quality content that you give to user. But then I also, when I think about that, that gentleman's thought of that organizations would have stories, good people doing great act of inspiration that the company needs to know. So did you ever get a chance to think how an organization could elevate this storytelling or storytelling mechanism for employees all around, so you can talk so they can have an internal sort of this storytelling? Because I think if you're anywhere more than 400 people size companies, every day you're getting some of those other inspirational story that you are not listening because you don't have your ears right on the right pulse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So after we set the stage with our high quality stories, like PBS documentaries and like award winning documentaries, we set the stage for these conversations. What comes absolutely right next is there are stories everywhere. Like all of the employees have their own stories. And what we offer to organizations is we have this community of award winning filmmakers who can help you make these stories. So, what we are doing with several of our clients right now is, as the continuation of what they sign up for the subscription, is now they are hiring those filmmakers to make up docs, like 3 to 5 minute short documentaries of the stories of employees that they can share on those same topics. So that filmmaker is already expert on mental health, for example, mental health issues, and they spend like many years on working on this topic. They're the experts on making the story happen and uh, recorded and edited and everything. So they hire that person and they make series of short stories about employees, because it's if not more important, it's as important to have internal stories being heard. Like it's great to use the external story as a prompt to start the conversation, but then the next level is active listening. Are we listening to our own stories, and are we paying attention that next cubic to me probably suffers from the same thing that we're talking about? How can I be an ally? How can I support them? And that's exactly part of the process. That's why it goes
So
to all layers.
no, that's fascinating, and I'm curious that say if I'm not in an organization where they're using you,
Mhm.
and I'm suffering through either my personal challenge or a mental issue or some psychological issues or something is going, like do you have an outlet for me? Because I think it looks like you have your finger on the pulse when it comes to many of the working challenges. Because I think one of the struggle that we see a lot on our platform. So we are building this platform um, for blue collar workforce, and for we call it lightly skilled, and we call it so workforce. And we find that there are a lot of outlets where sort of these conversation
Mhm.
either could be happening, or
Mhm.
or someone on the corner would be seeking to learn. So I'm curious that do you have a publicly available outlet for your platform where people can discover
Mm,
some part of the story, if not everything?
that's a great question. Not yet. We are building that part. We as part of our subscription, we do have resource sheets that come with every session. So every session is a facilitated session with the story, and then takes you after the conversation takes you to available resources, which some of them we are partnering with, some of them we are just vetting the information, making sure that they are great resources that we can share. And many of our facilitators are thought leaders in that field. So they bring their own expertise to the table and they can share other resources. So, for example, on mental health, we do have like resource sheets that, or like list of resources that can give the organizations or workforce access to what they need to get access, both on like nonprofit board and other resources that exist. Um, we need to we need to make it more available and accessible to the outside world. Right now it's part of what we offer to our members and partners, but definitely it's something that we are looking into to make sure that we are providing the support after, like what
Because
is
I
needed.
think one of the most fascinating part that I have seen, at least on Tau Network today, is
Mhm.
ability of people to help each other. So I think I'll not be surprised if you sort of create an open source outlet or open community conversation outlet of this, people would jump on board sort of,
Yeah,
because we were stunned by this
yeah,
on our side as
yeah,
well, when we never realized. So when we started, we said, okay, we would have a certain kind of a specialist who would indulge to help each other,
yeah.
but then we realized specialists were not engaging. So we end up seeing that
The
people
support
are engaging with
groups.
each other
Yes,
to help each
support
other out.
groups. Absolutely,
So it
Vishal.
was fascinating.
It's unbelievable how can people support each other. Even right now, like with these sessions, as I said, like we see, observe in live sessions, people start jumping in and asking, like offering help to each other. One thing, so we are a startup and we're a pretty
Mm.
young startup, and we have so many
Mm.
dreams and wishes that we want to make happen. Definitely, what you said is part of our dream. What we want to build is an ecosystem of learning. So in that ecosystem, definitely community is part of it.
Mm.
Experts that we have, like I always see filmmakers as researchers, like those who make high quality films, documentaries. There are researchers, like they complete a dissertation with every documentary because they do hundreds of interviews, they do lots of
Mm.
research, and they make it a short, concise, brief story that I can digest in 30
Mm.
minutes. So when they join this community and they can respond to participants, it just brings a different layer of knowledge and understanding. That is, let's say, if I live with epilepsy or a mental health situation, who would be better than someone who experienced that I can talk with,
Mm.
and someone who did interview hundreds of other people like me to help me better navigate my situation in the workplace, right? What type of support I can get. So that community support is huge in our model. We'll get there one day.
That's good luck to do you on that. I think that's
Thank you.
definitely. I think I'm a fan of storytelling. So definitely, I think the more story are told, the better the humanity gets. So I think from that point of view, I think it's pretty fascinating. So let's go on a next segment, and thank you for bearing us, and being generous with the time to help us
Of
understand
course.
the storytelling aspect of DEI. So um, before that, so if suppose take the story bolt out. So if you just as an organization, if I'm listening to this conversation, right? How can I fix my DEI problem? If say you are a leader of an organization of 10,000 size people size company, and you are asked to solve or improve the DEI situation in an organization, like what do you think are some of the things, quick bites that they can do?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would say the first step would be pause and think about your own understanding of DEI. How much of an inclusive leader are you? And how much you really, and don't be intimidated with all these languages that are changing every day in this world of DEI.
Mm.
The bottom line is to give people space and understand them as they are and help them be their best in whatever skills and conditions they have, and just understand them as they are authentically. How much of that leader are you, and how can you improve it? So start from the leader. If you are a leader, start from the leadership. That's the best way to start. When you become that inclusive leader, then you start listening to others and start digesting and absorbing all the information. And then it comes with it. I don't want to say it's going to come automatically. It's going to be a messy process. It's not going to be easy. It's going to
Mm.
be challenging, but the result is beautiful. The result is innovation. So I would say start from what you think is needed for you as a leader, and find those resources. And then from there, you can find other doors that you need to open. And